Hello and welcome to Warblog. I'm going to play this game, Second Ivorian Civil War. I might not play it straight off. First off, I just want to say that it's sort of a pair. So if you look down here at the Battle of Abidjan, it's the same battle, except this is, well, it's Abidjan, which is the city on the coast. Basically, the president, or the prime minister, didn't accept the election results and stayed in power. And then the other people who won decided that they would, with all these little orange units, basically take control by force, which is interesting, really, in its own right. I'm not going to go into all the history of it because I'm just really looking to push some counters around. But the interesting thing there is that battle that we just looked at is basically this little square down here, probably about 1, 2, 3. I think it goes up to about four hexes by maybe 3 hexes. So they're sort of the same battle, but this one starts a lot earlier. Now there's 44 days, and I'm giving them 1 day per turn, 1 turn per day, whereas this one, let's just actually go back to it. I'm doing this at sort of like 2 turns per day. So we'll see that square again. I haven't matched the units up exactly, but for example, this UN unit, these French units, the special forces, and the sort of all the exciting stuff in there are the same. These units are not actually replicated exactly. The French and the UN units are shifted over a bit to the side because you can't have them all in this. This is probably the 1 hex, so they're probably more down here. So anyway, I'm going to play this one now. I'm not going to play it all the way through. It's 15 minutes. I think it's a nice map. It's nice, especially when you consider it's only jungle rather than these little sea squares. This lake's not as big as that, but effectively it is because it pretty much limits movement in that direction. So essentially, the RFCI, I should really maybe open up this Wikipedia on the other page, just at least make an attempt to say something useful. Yeah, so we're saying here the Second Ivorian Civil War broke out in March 2011 when I'm starting at 24th of February, I think, 25th of February. And it escalated into a full-scale military conflict between the forces loyal to Laurent Gbagbo, who is the Prime Minister, and supporters of the internationally recognised President-elect Alassane Ouattara. After months of unsuccessful negotiations and sporadic violence between supporters of the two sides, the crisis entered a critical stage as Ouattara's forces seized control of most of the country with the help of the UN, which observes the UN, the United Nations organisation, with Gbagbo entrenched in Abidjan, the country's largest city, not the capital though. International organisations have reported numerous instances of human rights violations on both sides, blah blah blah. yeah, so essentially, but in a nutshell, they control half the city, half the country, or at least that's the sort of impression I'm getting from the Wikipedia map. I always showed a Wikipedia map now, but so it starts off with that. Now the new forces, as I call them, the orange ones, um, they have all these objectives. There's no real, they're just there, just sort of almost for decoration, really. We don't expect the military of Ivory Coast um, to actually take any of these. They're not. I mean, you could move into there this turn, maybe, but that shouldn't leave an enemy unit. But anyway, so that's that. So, I mean, these were the first places that got taken out. So let me just have a look. Fighting also broke out in Western Ivory Coast at the end of February 2011. On the 25th, which is when I'm starting this campaign, new forces captured the towns of Zouan Haunin, which is there, but it's not actually there because I didn't know where it was, so I just put it there. It might be somewhere completely different, but it does indicate they're in the west. So I think I've got a pretty much reasonable guess there. And Bin Hoi. Now I think I'm a little more on with Bin Hoi, but that's there. So we've taken those two, and then the next day, from memory, they take this place to Leplo on the 7th of March. So we'll start off historically by moving into that. And we do have some Liberian mercenaries. Now both sides get Liberian mercenaries, which is quite interesting, really. So that's what I'm going to do that with that first turn. Let's see if we've got any moves left on that. No. Okay. Here, now I think we've got enough units to actually do something in there. The question is, do I take a risk and come off that road? I think not. Well, let's go for it. Now they're in jungle, so they're probably worth 2. So this should be about 3 to 1. 4 to 1. And just an exchange. So they got a die roll of 12, which I think was pretty bad. I can't remember where this thing's going. So that must have been pretty good for the defender. So, I mean, I like to pause a little bit there. I mean, obviously they had superior odds, but they failed to take out Bondalku, which doesn't go well for the first military endeavour. And I guess the next place would be this one here. Reload that page. Now I haven't really balanced this up, whether there are actually enough forces. I mean, that should have gone through. Now they're in a city, so this is going to be even tougher. One to one. 2 to 1. With just an exchange and another die roll of 12. Now that's 2 of the unluckiest dice rolls that I could have had in these battles. So the new forces are doing ahistorically badly. I mean, they should have just walked through. I mean, you couldn't get any less resistance in these places. Well, that's that. So I mean, it's starting to make them look like a weak force. Now, I think I could have done that in a in a different way, and it would have been a steamroller. I could have got 2 defender eliminates. Why not? And this could have gone the other way. Already it's starting to take a shape and form. Only a few minutes left, but let's take it to the next turn. So now, an equally intriguing question really is what do the military of Ivory Coast do? They don't have a lot of options. I mean, I don't think they really want to start attacking the UN and French forces. Now, I'm going to treat those as they would have been historically. They're not militarily engaged until the very end. They're more peacekeeping, patrolling the city, defending life. Now, I have thought this through a little bit, and I think it's pretty tough. Now, that first turn was good. You can see this is not a contested objective now. Now, this river could be a nice defensive spot. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to go and help defend this city. And maybe I can put some pressure by attacking. I'm going to leave the special forces down there just to be a little more historical, but I'm going to send the armoured company. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mechanized company. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the artillery. 1, 2. Now, can I reach that? Yes, so 1 to 3. Tempo eliminated, but that doesn't have any effect. Okay, well, got some artillery in there. Artillery at one stage will be an automatic course for morale check. But if you've got less than 5 fatigue, the morale check is negated anyway. But if they're on fatigue 6, I could fire artillery into them and they would have to do a morale check. I've not done that yet. Maybe next year. I think I will sort of defend some of this here. I sort of want to maybe get on the other side of this river. But at the same time, I don't. The road crosses there. So I think I'm actually going to defend that river. And I think that's going to be my turn. I don't want to counter-attack with anything. So, end the turn. Have things become dug in? No. Okay. Less than a minute. This time seems to fly when I do these videos. I can't believe it. Woof. I've really come onto the sort of the secret of creating long videos. People stuffed with ideas for making videos. I can just sit here and it's like, just woof. Look at that. 14 minutes gone. One turn. Wow. I'm so tired. I'm going to leave it at that. I might do another one. Add on to this later. Probably not though. Okay, well, maybe see you later. it's the other end of the spectrum, unusual. So lots of RFCI units doing things. Well, okay, so still got a movement left. So this should one extra point, but we've got plus 20% on surround. Ha! Defender eliminated. Do I roll a 6? Well, let's make most of that. I think this one can move in. Leaves him a bit exposed, but the best of moves. But and here, I won't be able to take part of his assault, but it should count as a flank. I don't know that. Okay, so 1 to 2. That's going to be a tough one. And here, Reinforcements. I don't think I want to risk that. He's got 4 doubled up in jungle with 8. With my, it's going to be a 1-to-1 at best. Oh look, some military of Ivory Coast reinforcements. This game's not going according to plan. I think the new forces are too weak. We need more of them to reflect the sort of the easier time that they had. Now, if those initial battles have gone well, maybe something else, the tide could turn. We'll see. But the thing is, all they can do is defend. It's very clear that the roads are very important. You know, there's no option here for counter-attacking. I'm leaving these in reserve. Why isn't this unit trying to take that out? I don't know. Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay. Well, I think it's time for a confrontation here. Huh. That was the third 12 they've had in sort of memory. And that's nearly a 12. I'm not even been thinking about the depressions, but that's 4, 4, 4. I mean, they're all becoming quite. I mean, this one's not even depressed yet. Now, I don't like that being left there. That's not good. So, the odds on this were quite good last time, so let's see what happens this time. And they get a 12 as well. It's pretty interesting actually. It's got these definite areas where you can see there's got to be a breakthrough, and there's definitely a front line on this. It's not as chaotic and random as I thought it would be, but it's not as balanced either. I mean, the new forces definitely need more troops to reflect the fact that they pretty much overran the south. This is difficult. I mean, I know I've had some bad dice rolls, but I think I'm going to add 3 more units for these 3 areas, so they'll have another one of these battalion type units, and that should sway the balance a little bit. Plus some lucky die rolls, but they shouldn't be having lucky die rolls. They should only be failing if they get unlucky die rolls. Very unlucky, which is sort of what's happened here. But I think you know, that's, well, I don't think they're strong enough. Let's just see what this little guy here can do here. Defender retreats. Those are the sort of results we needed earlier on. Prussians 5 and they're knackered. But that's it. I'm not going to do any more.